Yo, what's up guys? My name's Holden and today I've got an awesome video for you guys. I'm going to be explaining what timelines are, how timelines work, and the shift that we are all experiencing right now. So in this video I want to talk a little bit about what timelines are, and timelines are basically a cause and effect of your dominant vibration. Now what does that mean? It basically means that whatever state of consciousness that you are in will determine your experience and which timeline you attract and which timeline you go down. So what do I mean by that? So I mean that if you are in a state of fear, then you are going to have a very different split timeline than someone that is in the love vibration or the joy and happy vibrations as their dominant vibration. So not just a feeling you get once in a while. What is your overall vibration? What is your overall mood that you're in? This will directly affect which timeline you experience, because whatever your dominant vibration is, that is the reality that you attract, and that is the reality that you are already going towards. So if you're in a fear state of vibration, you will experience a lot of negative and dark timelines. And if you are in a loving and caring and happy state of vibration as your overall dominant vibration, meaning like throughout your day, you know, there's a lot of times that you might get upset during the day, but I mean just in a way that it's what is your natural core vibration is basically what I'm saying. And whatever that is will determine if you experience a negative and fear-based reality, or if you want the higher 5D gamma light, you know, perfect manifestation, everything goes your way. It kind of just works in synchronicity. And yeah, things usually just work your way, because a lot of the times with this splitting of timelines that's happening right now in 2020 is definitely a split of timelines. There's the 3D and the 5D, and I'll explain a little bit more about what those two are. But there's the fear and there's the love. So it's basically like polar opposites of each other, and that they've been splitting over the past, I think it's been like 8 years, since 2012. But now it's just coming to a point where things are happening so fast that it's like you need to choose where you're gonna jump to, because you are basically, think of it this way, your personal experience directly dictates what your reality is. So there's an infinite amount of worlds that you could jump to, that you could experience down timelines, but it just depends on what your actions, thoughts, and beliefs are about reality. So if you're having a fearful scientific and experience here, then you're gonna have more of a dense and not as fluid reality, I guess you could say, because it almost seems like more once you raise your vibration more and more and you start to experience more of the love timeline, that things start to just happen for you, and it starts to, like, everything sort of just plans out the way it's supposed to be and kind of just works out without you don't even have to do anything. You kind of just sit back and you're like watching it all from like a distance, and you're kind of like, whoa, like I'm doing that, but I'm not really doing anything. I'm just kind of being here. And it's really cool because you start to see that, like, in the lower vibration and the fear vibration and the fear timelines, that every time you try to do something, it's like you have to like really like drag yourself through it. Like it's almost like process and work just to even get somewhere that, like, it might be so easy for someone in a different state of vibration going down a different timeline to do, but it's like it depends on what you are at. So if you are at a lower state and someone else has already done the clearing work, they are at a higher loving state than someone that would be in like the 3D, which would be like a fear-based programming, then basically it would be a lot easier for those people in the love-based experience to get what they're trying to get without even really having to do anything. Like it's almost like the people in the love-based experiences are kind of like sitting back and watching, and they're observing everything, and they're like, oh, that's pretty cool, you know, oh, that worked, that's pretty cool. But it's different with the fear-based vibration, because it's like you're scared of trying to become the thing you want to become. So it's like you're trying to get somewhere that that you're not already, and the universe immediately puts that as resistance, and it doesn't usually work out the way you want it to. Like, it might work out pretty well, but it might be like tough for you to get the job, and like for whatever you're trying to do, you know, manifest $1 million. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work if you're in a fear-based vibration. It's just gonna, you're gonna have to raise your internal vibration before you get to see that reflection. So basically what timelines are, and I know I gave a little bit of an explanation, but basically what timelines are is where your current reality you're jumping to is headed. So it's like, imagine what I was talking about with momentum. Like, every time you think a thought, every time you do an action, every time you feel an emotion, that is basically putting yourself in a different reality. Because every time you move your hand, or every time you do anything, you're basically jumping one reality, one reality, one reality, one reality. So it is completely up to you in every moment. How do you feel? That will guide you down which timeline you want to experience. And timelines, they're very flimsy. So it's like, not flimsy, but you can change your timeline like that. Like, you literally can change it in any moment. So it's not like you were stuck on this like fear-based timeline, or this dense timeline. If you start to do the work every single moment, every single second, then you will begin to see the change in your timeline immediately, and you will be able to go down a different timeline. You will not be like stuck on your timeline, because a lot of the times people, or they know the information and they get to a certain spot, and then they just say, well, I'm far enough, I've done the manifesting, I've like meditated, and now I can just stop. But that's not the way this works, guys. This is, if you fully grasp this concept, you will make your life so much easier. Like, you will be able to literally sit there, and I've done it too. Like, you will sit there and something's not going your way, and you're like getting frustrated, you know, because you're a human, and then you take a step back and you allow it, and then you bring love into the situation, and you'll see it shifts immediately. It's crazy. It's almost like it almost instantaneously responds to your vibration. It's like it's responding to your emotions and thoughts almost instantaneously. But that takes a little bit of practice. Once you get enough confidence in yourself, and once you gain up a high enough vibration, and it's not like I'm saying like, oh, I'm high and mighty because I have a higher vibration. It's just that I've cultivated more pleasant experience than a lot of people do, and that's why I'm making these videos, so I could try to explain to you guys that it's not about getting somewhere or changing something that already exists. It's literally about internally your own experience. What are you creating from the inside? Because that's the hardest thing to do, is create a reality from the inside. Because if you're trying to find something outside of yourself that'll make you happy, you will find something that'll make you happy for probably like a few days, and then you'll get bored of that object, and then you'll try and find something else, something better. So if you create the better reality inside yourself, then you have broken the system. You've broken what reality is supposed to be, because it's like, oh, something happened to me, now I'm going to react in a negative way and not like reality. But if you can say, no, I'm still going to be in a loving state, I'm actually going to be in a more loving state and be grateful and thankful, then you will see how it basically bypasses everything, and it sort of like hacks the timeline, because you are taking over, you were taking your power back basically. You were saying like, no, I'm not a little whimsy human that's going to be in fear and basically change my timeline just because I'm in fear. No, you're saying I'm going to stay loving, and I'm going to stay positive, and I'm going to shift my timeline on purpose. And you'll see that your timeline will start to increase tremendously if you do this. And I just want to give a little bit of an explanation better into what timelines are. I know this video is already kind of long, but timelines are basically, think of them like strips of film in like a movie. If you ever seen frames of a film, imagine it's like completely laid out, every frame, and you're choosing which frames you want to experience. So it's like if you wanted to have a really bad movie, and your life is kind of like a movie, if you wanted to have a really bad timeline, a really bad movie, you would make that really bad timeline, and you would experience only through those lenses of that timeline. So it's like you're not actually like generating the whole entire reality. Well, you are, but you're not doing it in that second consciously. You are just putting on the glasses of that timeline, or the goggles of that timeline, and you're basically seeing through that perspective. So you will only experience negative and horrible things. You'll never experience something like a super loving $1 million that just comes into your life, because you're not wearing that perspective. You're not wearing a loving, kind, gracious perspective. So I hope that I explained these timelines a little bit better for you guys. I probably will make more videos like this. I do believe that there's a shift going on Earth right now. I believe that there is the love train and the fear train, and it depends solely on your perspective which one you want to experience. Are you going to be trapped in all this chaos from all this pandemic and everything like that, or are you going to be focusing on the positive, and you're going to be looking within and trying to generate a better reality from within? Because the more that we understand this collectively, the more that we can create better and better realities for all of us. And literally, it will just help every human being on the planet, and it'll help all parallel dimensions of yourself, everything. So I know this has been a lot, guys. This is a pretty long video, but thank you for watching. If you like my content, hit the notification bell, subscribe, leave a like, comment, and share it to your friends and family. I hope you guys have an awesome day.